capacity of AI tools to generate output has meaningfully surpassed our ability to monitor and verify them. And while all the major AI vendors keep warnings in their product that AI outputs might be wrong, they do not do a great deal to help us turn those warnings into an actionable roadmap. In this video, I want to consider the issue of managing AI wrongness and that verification process, sharing with you one of the frameworks I train on in my Copilot adoption sessions to help you think about how you can collaborate with AI tools in a safer and more responsible way. My name is Nick DeCourcy. I'm a Microsoft 365 consultant who specialises in AI adoption for small and medium-sized businesses. I'm also a Microsoft MVP for Microsoft 365 Copilot. If you're interested in keeping up with AI advancements, make sure you get subscribed to the channel and drop this video a like so you get to see more from me in the future. And if you're interested in working with me, check out the links down in the video description to get in contact. Over the last couple of weeks, we have seen 2 product releases or updates from Microsoft that have really made me think about this issue of AI output verification. On one side are updates that have been made to Researcher with new critique and counsel modes, allowing Claude and GPT models to work together to help reduce error and pinpoint where you should direct your attention. On the other side is a product like Copilot Cowork that radically amplifies an individual user's ability to generate outputs with AI. Now, instead of turning a prompt into one chat response or one file, we can turn a single prompt into an entire folder full of assets. My videos looking specifically at each of those capabilities are linked below. Foundationally, in the same way that human colleagues make errors, so do AI-powered digital ones. This is baked into the way advanced generative AI models work, not because they aren't really smart, but because, firstly, their training may expose them to ideas that make them think in an undesired way, and second, we often turn them toward tasks where there isn't one black and white right or wrong answer. If you take one of the starter prompts in Cowork, like this one about meeting prep, some of what you're asking for are indisputable facts, like when the meeting is happening. But others, like noting what questions you should ask, are more an issue of subjective interpretation. Microsoft's marketing says that by using Work IQ, the context intelligence foundation under Copilot, the AI is capable of delivering an output that's valuable even against these subjective requirements, because it understands your work context. And while in some cases this pans out technically in what we see to be the capabilities of the system, in other cases simple access to the same information will not deliver the same understanding you have of an issue. There is more to human-like intelligence than pure information processing, and while Work IQ is performant and will continue to be more so in the future, I think there is a fairly big gap that will require some more technology leaps to truly fill. So in the interim, those warnings that AI output might be wrong are in every context both objectively and subjectively correct. You might get an output where some unintended connection in the data leads to some radically wrong answer, otherwise known as an AI hallucination. And you might just get an output that, while on the face of it is entirely accurate, just is out of keeping with the flavour of how you do work. So how do we deal with this? When I'm leading Microsoft 365 Copilot adoption training sessions, this is an issue I tend to spend some time on, as it's just so vital to get AI involved in work in a useful way. The foundation I build on is this scope framework, where we break down a verification process into stakes, claims, omissions, provenance, and enough. Let's walk through this. Stakes focuses on us identifying just how important an individual AI output is. At its core, the verification of AI outputs is about risk management, and certain tasks come with more or less inherent risk associated with them. Aggregating the monthly office supplies order is always going to be less risky than drafting a new press release that will go out with a product launch. You run out of paper clips mid-month, then someone could run down to Staples. You screw up your opportunity to get the right details about your new product in front of your audience, and it might be a problem that lives with you for a long time. For those who are disproportionately suspicious of every AI output, or those who tend to just trust it and move on, this requires reframing. The verification need is not connected with the technology that was used. It's connected with the purpose of the output that you want to verify. Microsoft 365 Copilot is constantly evolving with new features and capabilities. But its value isn't that list of updates. What really matters is how much it can help you to get done. Since Copilot launched, I've been helping businesses turn teams with new licenses into power users delivering real business value. Now, I'm running a training program you can join as an individual. Find out more at the links down in the description and get signed up for Get Work Done with Microsoft 365 Copilot. Or, if you need training or adoption support for your whole team, check out my other services. Claims guides us to look into the facts your AI tool has built its answer on. Are they correct? Are they interpreted in the right way? Are they aligned with what you are actually asking for? The need to think about this issue is one of the reasons we can ordinarily say that it's easier to de-risk an AI output where you are an expert on the topic than one where you are not. An AI tool will often write equally authoritatively about a topic where it has good knowledge, as where its facts are sitting on shaky ground. Omniscience considers what has been left out. Often the issue isn't whether or not the facts are correct, but if any have been missed. And for AI tools where their knowledge is solely grounded in the data we give them access to, they may well lack very relevant information because it's simply outside their view. Take that meeting prep prompt for Cowork. If you happened to see one of the meeting participants at lunch last week and agreed certain questions should be asked, unless you added that to somewhere in Microsoft 365, Cowork would have no knowledge of it. If you know something that AI can't know, at the very least, you need to make sure you drop it into your prompt. Provenance focuses on where Copilot got its information from. Citations are there for a reason. You can check those key resources. Did it get the pricing information from the current document or the draft one from 5 years ago? Is it referring to the agreement with the right contractor? Some of this comes down to how you manage data across Microsoft 365, but where that issue becomes a problem is in AI-generated outputs that refer to the wrong documentation. And lastly, you have to ask the question, enough? These tools are your assistants. The email that gets sent, the contract that gets issued, the blog that gets posted, these are your work and you are the responsible party. Too little time spent verifying and you're taking too much risk. Too much time and you're not really getting a beneficial return from using AI. The right answer is good initial risk level identification and proportional, reasonable verification. The baseline promise of AI at work is it helps us to do more. Often we talk about this in terms of time saved, but if we flip that around, the real metric is that in a given number of hours we can all generate more work. And that's great, but we should acknowledge that this capacity amplification comes at the cost of shortcutting the information absorption and creation process. And with this being the case, how do we know any of it is right? This is where scope fits in. But we should also acknowledge that this parallels other ways of thinking about work that are already embedded in how we do business. The good news is that we are all used to this process of verifying work, whether or not we specifically call it out. Every business is built with the implicit understanding that mistakes get made by humans every day. Every person managing others has to decide how much effort they are going to put into checking someone else's work. We have all wasted time making sure that things that ended up not mattering were perfect, and we have all got burned by assuming something is right when it turned out not to be. And probably we have all also had situations where we've done everything right, we've checked every line, had others sign off on it, and still found a horrendous error. It's not managing mistakes that we are unfamiliar with. It's managing mistakes that are created by our computers. And in the recent update to Researcher, Microsoft has started building better technology controls to manage for this issue. The idea of having two AI models look at the same problem is similar to having two humans check the same work. We don't eliminate error, we reduce it. And that should mean more work that is able to go out the door without extensive checks, and more time to devote to completely verifying those outputs that are the most critical. The experience of critique or model counsel does not complete a full scope verification check. For example, it can't know if something has been omitted that it can't see, but for what it does, in issues like citation verification, critique strongly aligns with this framework. And while this may be something that is only currently available in Researcher, in practice any Microsoft 365 Copilot user can build their own agent that does much the same thing. Add an outline of scope to an agent, give it access to all your data, and ask it to verify your chats or other outputs. It's not exactly what either critique or model counsel are doing, but for the purposes of adding structure to output verification, it can serve a useful purpose. However, your takeaway here shouldn't be that technology, whether it's the new capabilities in Researcher or an agent you built yourself, fundamentally solves the problem of needing to verify more and more output that is created by innovations like Cowork. The trajectory we're seeing is that there is more capacity to create, and keeping capacity to verify in balance with this, even as more technology comes online to help us, is a human management problem, not a technology adoption one. This is something every business must grapple with, and every AI user must fit into their work, as unless we maintain the ability to deliver more, safely, responsibly, and better with these tools, we risk turning a massive benefit into a huge loss. How do you manage the verification process of the work that you do with AI? Start that conversation down in the comments. Thanks for watching through to the end. Until the next video, bye bye.